Hey y'all, you're tuned into BCTV. I'm Chioma.
I'm Bianca.
And we're here to review Love and Marriage Season 4, Episode 5.
Right.
Alright. B start.
So, the episode.
Oh wait, sorry y'all. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, guys.
Happy Easter. Our whole today was filled with love, fellowship, family, and friends.
Yes. So this episode, we're kind of going to breeze through this just because there wasn't too much to discuss. It starts off with Tisha kind of going over the whole thing with her cousin from last episode. Basically, what it looks like to me is Tisha's cousin wants TV time because you look ridiculous bringing something up from 4 or 5 years ago.
That y'all cried. She said they cried about. They talked about it. She apologized. They went to dinner, and they have moved on. And I am not a big Tisha fan, but this is just ridiculous. You're bringing up. It just sounds like you're trying to deflect. You don't want to take accountability for what you did, because what you did at the end of the day was messy and it was wrong. So
that's what people do. Like when they do something, then they want to try to bring something up that you did, and it's like we're not talking about that. And I'm glad Tisha told her, like, we're talking about you. Like, are you going to take accountability for what you did? And she's like, okay, you right. Girl, next, like, ultimately, I don't blame Tisha if she does want to cut ties with her, but at the same time, Tisha, I was kind of happy this happened to you because that's what you did to Kimmy. Like,
yes, you kept bringing up stuff that we had already moved past.
Yeah, and you were like, what more do you want from me? And that's literally what Kimmy used to ask you, like, what more do you want from her? So, anyway, in the words of Miss Misha, moving forward. So then I think I'm skipping a scene, but it probably wasn't important. Destiny meets up with Maurice.
I don't know. I just found this scene so weird. Like, when did they start working together? When did they become cool? But she pretty much is meeting with Maurice to pretty much tell him about, like, I guess her. So, you know, everybody knows Destiny owns the salon. So apparently she hasn't been able to keep her business open, like, on a consistent basis, which is weird because I thought she had like her business was doing really well, like from what she used to say in past episodes.
Did she even win an award at one point?
That's why I'm so confused on what
Destiny's
her
story and her timeline is just there.
It's very odd. She's saying that her business hasn't been open on a consistent basis because she has to watch her son, which is weird because there's a lot of single mothers who still run businesses.
Essentially, it seemed like Destiny saying, okay, she moved to wherever they moved to, thinking that her and her husband, Huntsville, were going to build this life.
Big empire.
Yes, they get divorced and now she's a single mom. And she's basically saying, like, because of the divorce, it took everything from her. She had to be on public assistance.
Which is weird.
Out her savings.
Which is really weird because she's saying that she was keeping her business open, her savings so much, so you do have money. When you have money in your account, and don't they check all that stuff before you apply, when you apply for public assistance? Like,
not your savings. It depends what type of public assistance.
I kind of feel like she shouldn't have said that out loud though. Like, I just feel like that's some kind of fraudulent activity, but
I think it's like public. I don't know how public assistance works in the terms of that she's using it. I just know about food stamps because, in college, I did have to use that. But
yeah, I know about like WIC and Section 8. That's what I'm like, was she on WIC? Well, she wasn't on Section 8 because she still was living in her big house.
That's what type of public assistance were you on? I really want to know.
Did you get a PPP loan and was using that to survive?
Because that's what Maurice asked her, and she said no. Like, did you take a PPP? And she was like, no, not a loan, public assistance. But my thing is, wouldn't it make more sense to, even though you don't want to shut your business down or pause it and live off your savings? Guys, we will take a break real quick.
And we're back.
Hey guys, we're back. So yes, it just doesn't make sense. Like, where is LeBrick? Is he not, or
is he not paid?
LeBaric. Is he not helping you out at all?
He doesn't pay child support.
He's not on child support.
Like, I don't understand her, but okay, so she's telling Maurice about that. So I guess Maurice is trying to help her get her credit built up because I think she was saying she wants to refinance. She's trying to refinance her home so she can keep it because she doesn't want to take away from something her son. This all her son knows. I'm like, your son is
a baby.
1 year old.
I hate when people do that.
Like, you don't need to start making. Yeah, don't make it like if you need to do whatever you need to do to make sure you keep your home. You don't want to lose your home. Just say that, but like. Coming up with all these excuses does not make sense to me.
When people be using their kids for stuff, oh, my son is used to this, so I don't want to take away. Your son doesn't care if y'all live in an apartment.
You think I remember where I lived when I was 1? Like, what does that even mean? He's not even in his formative years. So I was like, okay, so he's helping her build her credit, but then the conversation gets weird. Like, Marie starts asking her about Melody.
Yeah.
And Keisha, I was like, are you one of the girls? Like,
Marie's got a little messy bone. You know how there's a tweet that was like, name the messiest person you know. It's a man.
It's a man, isn't it?
Yes. So Maurice is like, oh, I heard that, you and your friend are having a falling out.
And she was like, no, I'm not. I don't have an issue. Melody has an issue with me.
That's literally the narrative. That's her song the entire time she's been on the show. No, she has an issue with me. It's never Destiny. Destiny never did nothing wrong.
And that was pretty much my issue, honestly, with Melody and her. Like, I both wish they would just say I have an issue. They're both just pointing the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just say, like, I'm not feeling you like that.
It's like that Spider-Man meme with the 3
when they're pointing at each other, like, whose fault is it? And everybody's just pointing at each other. Everybody's just pointing their finger at this point.
I would say, well, we'll discuss that when we get to that scene. I just realized the scene that I think I forgot was with Martel and Marcel. It's not important. He basically wants to buy back into Scolt. Sorry. And Marcel is kind of like, I gotta talk to Tisha about it.
And when has Marcel ever had to run anything by Tisha? Misogynistic Marcel.
Right.
Like,
so basically, he ain't feeling it.
He literally just wants to put that on Tisha. Mm-hmm. He's gonna say, "Oh, well, Tisha doesn't want is not comfortable because Marcel literally doesn't want anything by Tisha, like ever. Like he doesn't even believe Tisha. Just a few seasons ago, Tisha wasn't even allowed outside the house.
Listen, she just started getting freedom, so."
So yeah, it's really just Martel grasping on for something to do, and I'm like, bro, just get your builder's license.
That's why, like, there's so many Mars on the show. Martel, all you need to do is really sit down and focus. I do believe you can get that builder's license. Yes, I know Mel was a brains, but just sit down and focus.
Well, word on the curb is that it's open book.
Oh, wow. You can't pass an open book test, sweetie.
I don't know if he's even trying. That's what
Are you trying? Yeah, I think you're so caught. What it looks like is Martel is so caught up in trying to compete with Mel. Like, Mel has all these endeavors and is succeeding in them, so it seems. And he's like, oh, she doing that? Well, let me do a calendar. Oh, well, I'm going to do a wine.
I'm going to do a cookbook. I'm going to do a children's book. It's like he's just grasping on for something, like a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yes.
But it's like you're good at building things. Just get your builder's license and continue in construction.
You talked all that mess about, oh, I was the one building this. Mel, you don't know how to build. So why aren't you building?
Why does she have a builder's license and you don't?
Like, make it make sense, sis. But enough of that. So then we see Kimmy and Maurice discussing basically.
First of all, I don't know what sexy talk they were doing. Oh, I like seeing you work with tools. Gets my engine. Please, I don't want to think about Kimmy's 50-year-old self and Maurice's 30-year-old self getting their engines roaring. I'm sorry. Like, ugh, I wanted to throw up in my mouth.
I actually think Maurice and Kimmy are cute, but they be corny to me. That's what it is. I be laughing during it. It's not as, I'm truly disgusted when Lou and Tiffany do that, but when Maurice and Kimmy do it, I don't know, it's just funny to me because they be so corny.
It makes me uncomfortable.
You be like, stop.
Stop the scene. Mute this, please, skip.
Yeah, their scene wasn't important. She just basically telling Maurice about how Tisha had her on the phone when Tisha was arguing with Kiki.
And that pretty much what she said, she's damned if she does, damned if she doesn't. Like, she's always somehow always involved in drama with Tisha and Mel or Tisha and Kiki. Just because, like, if she does say something, it's like, okay, she's in the middle of it. But if she doesn't say something, then Tisha
why didn't she say anything?
So it's just like, it just is what it is at this point. She's kind of just over it, but she's just like, whatever.
She's pretty much anticipating that they're going to drag her.
It's going to be, especially when Miss Wanda gets involved, it's going to come back to Kimmy. Because Kimmy is the one who told her that Kiki was talking about her. So
Yes.
That's that.
Again, we might be skipping a couple scenes. This episode is pretty slow.
It was a lot of filler to me.
A lot of filler. The grand thing of the episode was Mel and Destiny finally meet up and discuss everything. Really, I think this is the first scene we've seen of them together this season.
Yeah.
And so Destiny's the one that initiates the lunch or whatever it is they're doing, and wants to address like, okay, hey, you know, I heard you're feeling away, because she's concerned that like it's starting to mess with her business, because
apparently somebody who Destiny was doing business with is one of Melody's good friends, and once they got into it, I guess the girl had contacted her and was like, you know, hey, you know, let's pause our business deal. You and Melody need to figure that out, because I don't want to be in the middle of this. So I'm not saying Melody did not tell the lady not to work with Destiny, but Destiny assumed that Melody must have told her, like, you know, pick a side, or hey, I don't feel comfortable with you working with Destiny. But my thing with Destiny is, why didn't you ask Melody? She had already assumed it and started harboring ill feelings.
That's what people do that I don't like.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I feel like a lot of everybody's issue on this show is just assuming
harboring
stuff.
and assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what confuses me. Like, when you are friends with somebody, you say like you're good friends to the point where you're like, oh, that's like, there's no way that Chioma will do something that's really bothering me and I'm not going to say something. Like, I'm just gonna like harbor it and be mad at her and just keep being mad. If it's something that you know, like, it's making you mad in that moment and you'll get over it, okay, cool. You might not address it, just like,
because everything doesn't need to be addressed.
Yeah.
But if it's something big, it's where y'all are saying y'all thought y'all were like sisters, this is your village, and y'all haven't talked in weeks or months, I would think that you would address that instead of just letting months go by without talking. That's what I find very weird when it's supposed to be a close friend.
That's so odd to me. Like, and y'all should be comfortable enough to be like, hey girl, like, is everything okay? I feel like you've been avoiding me. What's the person gonna do? Beat your ass? Like, so anyway, Destiny pretty much tells her about the friend, the mutual friend, and this, I do believe that Mel told the friend something. I feel like
Melody does sometimes try to act like she's just so innocent.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I would never do that. I'm like, Melody.
I don't think Mel would have been like, don't work with her, but she definitely told
probably,
her.
She probably like, I mean, I would work with her. You know, like, you know, I'm
saying
with
stuff
caution.
without saying it, like, type of thing. Yeah.
You on your own with that one. Don't say I think she was saying something slick. I don't put that past Melody
at all. I was irritated with Destiny though, because yeah, you did lie. You said
on the reunion, you said y'all
never
had never talked. You didn't specify if it was text or phone. She said y'all had never talked. So then when Melody's showing you the text, you're like, oh, I don't even talk like that. Then who is
and
that?
then she shows you the picture you sent her. You're like, yeah, I sent that.
So then that means you
So
sent
that's
everything
your
else.
text thread.
That's your number, boo. Like,
I don't even use chillaxing. Okay,
you used it that day.
You used it that day. Like, I mean, Destiny, nobody about to like fake a text thread. Come on now. So yeah, I feel like, you know, you ultimately, I think Destiny is more wrong just because whatever. Let me say this. Let me rephrase that. Mel might have done something to offend Destiny. That's valid. Destiny should not have been speaking up on it for the first time on a reunion stage. If we had an issue and we were in public and my first time speaking about the issue was in public, I would think you would be like,
I would feel a certain type of way.
damn, you couldn't pull me to the side and tell me you felt some way. Like, you heard Tisha say like, oh, Mel's not a good friend, and then you pretty much co-signed it by like saying, I can't really say anything because we hadn't even spoken.
But then I thought Destiny was lying when she said that she didn't know that Tisha and Melody would have a rocky relationship. I'm like, everybody who watches that show knows that they have an on and off. Like, they've never been since season 1, they haven't been the best of friends. So, although you're lying again, but okay, I mean, they pretty much ended off with, they're good on each other.
Mel got up from the table because at that point, and I don't blame her, it was just kind of like talking to a wall, because Destiny doesn't want to hold herself accountable for anything. You were talking about her with Tisha.
Because I apologize if you think I was talking about you.
I heard you.
I heard you, and if I truly was not talking about you, I would not apologize. Like, I didn't say anything.
Yes, that's the thing. If you really weren't saying anything, you shouldn't have apologized. You apologized, and
because you did say something that you felt was maybe could have been misconstrued or probably rubbed her the wrong way.
And also, like she said, it's common sense. Why do I have to tell you not to go befriend Tisha? Like, you're trying to say, oh, she should have never promoted a friendship with y'all. When did she promote it, though? Her saying, oh, I'm not going to, like, try to tell you who to be friends with does not mean she's promoting you going to be friends with somebody.
And it's not even like y'all are cool. Now y'all are besties. Oh, yeah, you know, I was going through a rough period in my... And I couldn't call Mel. I had to call Tisha.
You don't got
had to call Tisha.
You don't got family.
You had to call Tisha. Like...
So if Tisha didn't exist, who would you have
called?
called?
Was Melody your only friend? Like... You're saying that Melody can't keep friends, but is Melody your only friend? That's weird.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's chat, Des.
So it ended really with Destiny being full of it to me. So I feel like Melody was at least vindicated with, you know, because everybody was thinking that Melody was literally playing Destiny to the side, and it showed that no, I have reached out to her. We have talked. So I don't know why she
regular conversation, maybe not as often, but y'all were still talking. And if you had an issue with it, you should have brought it up before the reunion. Like, hey, I noticed you've been more distant. You want to start bringing stuff up at the reunion, and it just looks away because Mel brought you on the show, and now it's like now you turned against her. Like, oh yeah, she can't be a good friend. So. Yeah, like Destiny's really not a good look for you. I'm actually good on you for next season as well because I'm not. You're being, in the words of Tiffany, transparent, but I'm not believing it. So I kind of don't care to see you anymore. Yeah, even your transparency this season just feels weird because you never tell us nothing about. But now all of a sudden you're telling us you were on Section 8. Yeah, like girl, you went from 0. It's enough. Yeah, I'm good on you. So that was pretty much it for this week's episode. So it was a filler episode to me. So we'll see how the season progresses, and yeah. So we will catch you guys next week for the new episode of Love Marriage Huntsville. Also, as you know, we do Put a Ring on It, so make sure you haven't make sure you watch that if you haven't already. And please click the like button and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any videos. And leave some comments. We'd like to talk to y'all. Peace.